Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion's Challenge Runs in the Binding of Isaac. Got an interesting, self-deprecating run for you today from YouTube user Haon184, Haon184. The run is called Think NL, or Northernlion Think. So, we have Kamikaze, Lard, which obviously gives us extra health and makes us a little bit slower. We have the Belt, which compensates for that slowness, as well as the Mark, which I think compensates for the Kamikaze. What's the purpose of this run? Well, every time try to run, I fall. Now, every time I pick up an item or a trinket, I have to say its full name. And the run is designed to make me think and possibly improve myself. Let's demonstrate it in concept here. So we have this. I normally call this Poison Touch, but this is actually called the Virus. Correct. If I had picked that up and it had read something other than what I said, then I absolutely have to hit myself with Kamikaze, no exception. So basically, the rub of this run, the thing that's going to be difficult, is me remembering the exact name of items when I oftentimes either don't know the names of the items because I'm terrible at remembering item names for whatever reason, or B, have my own nomenclature for them. For example, you know, Poison Touch versus the Virus. So I'm thinking this is going to be interesting. Everything else is on the table, by the way. Like Deals with the Devil, A-okay. Item rooms, shops, A-okay. It's just trying not to kill myself with Kamikaze. I mean, only using Kamikaze once isn't going to be the end of the world, unless I go to an item room thinking that I absolutely need whatever I'm going to get there, and then I say the name wrong because I have 0 health, and then I die, basically. I got a few becauses wrong there, but you probably get what I'm saying. In any case, I'm going to do my best to make the people proud, remember all of the names, and watch, this will be, you know, it's normally very frustrating when I forget the right names, or when I, you know, pick up an item thinking it does one thing and it actually does another thing. Watch it be frustrating for the other reasons this time. I'll actually be picture perfect and end up not being interesting at all. But in any case, you know, it's interesting in a certain extent, because it's always, you know, randomized Isaac variable. And using Kamikaze as a real, genuine item will certainly provide some interesting elements to this. If I do choose to use it as a genuine item, I don't know how I would make that work. Thankfully, we got that key, so we will be going to the item room on this floor. I totally did not say the item when I picked up the HP upgrade, so forgive me. I totally screwed the pooch there right off the bat. In any case, I lost a Spirit Heart for it. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I was still in the middle of describing the run. So now, officially, we're going to get started. So this is Telepathy for Dummies. I'm not going to pick it up, but I know that that is for sure the item name. It's only when you pick up an item that I'm subject to the conditions of the run, by the way. Not that it matters for that one, because Telepathy for Dummies is one of the most obviously named items in the game. It actually says it right on the cover of the danged book. So I'm just going to try not to get hit here. That was fairly close. I feel like the Belt has actually made us faster than default as Isaac, despite the fact that we have Lard. Lard might be like 1 speed down, maybe the Belt's 2 speed ups, I'm not sure. Well, that was bad damage already. So we're already out of Spirit Heart territory, at least for now. Maybe we can get lucky and we'll knock one of these tinted rocks over and pick up oh, that was awesome. Damage upgrade, nope, just a key. I was hoping Spirit Heart damage upgrade, instead we got a single key, which is actually beneficial. You know, we'll need that at some point, just not right now. Money's going okay for us. We do have good bombs, so you know what, we might as well check the shop. Maybe the secret room. We might as well check the secret room. Maybe that'll have, never mind. I don't know where the secret room is, so we are going to absolutely ignore the fact that I just said that and pretend it didn't happen. Jedi mind trick. These are not the item rooms you're looking for, the secret rooms you're looking for, and we're going to see what we have in our boss room now. That is Blighted Ovum. Excellent. I'm not going to do it for, like, bosses. Like, some people are probably out there suggesting you should do Kamikaze when you get a boss name wrong. The reason I'm not going to do that is because it's far too tempting to just cheat and just not hit the spacebar as soon as I see the boss. This is an awful roundabout way of taking out the Blighted Ovum, by the way. The other asshole got in the way. Okay, so this is breakfast. Dessert. Okay, so that's a Kamikaze. But hey, there's a heart right there. And what do we have in Devil Room here? Spirit of the Night. So I'm definitely going to pick that up. Beautiful. Letter by letter, that was perfect. And we're going to head down to the next floor. I guess that's where things are going to get really tricky, is if I start losing a lot of red hearts, and then I start getting names wrong when I'm rolling with Spirit Hearts, because Spirit Hearts are much more difficult to replenish. But as is right now, this has been a fairly vanilla run. We've got some decent items to start with. Obviously, the Mark is going to give us some extra damage, as well as some other stats, I believe. And Spirit of the Night is, of course, fantastic. There's a key for us, so we will obviously be going to the item room this time. And ideally, I would love these guys to destroy the Tinted Rock here. Perhaps it's a little unlikely, but I think a man can dream. There we go. So we'll pick up 2 Spirit Hearts as a result of that. That is awesome. Sometimes there is a silver lining to dealing with these assholes. Thank God I had the belt. I might not have been able to avoid that green ball from a few seconds ago. And we'll just continue onwards. So far, so good. I'm feeling decent about the chances here. Here's the problem. Holding Kamikaze the whole time is going to make things very, very difficult for us, and it's irreplaceable. Like, that would obviously go substantially against the conditions of the challenge run if I was to replace Kamikaze. So what do we get that compensates for the fact that we're never going to have a good spacebar item? A ton of damage, and you know what that means. Usually a Mom's Knife or a Brimstone is in the cards if I can get one. B, absolutely something like a passive health upgrade. Little Chad at bare minimum. I would love Miter Relic or something along those lines. Even a Mom's Pearl early in the game to get a... like, Mom's Pearl and Mom's Purse to get as much Spirit Heart potential as possible. I don't know, it's an interesting situation, that's for sure. I almost always need a spacebar item if I'm going to succeed on the chest. I doubt this will be an exception, but stranger things have happened. We are going to go to the shop. Again, spacebar item is kind of off the table, but there's still a lot of items in there that could be useful, like the compass, for example, which is on sale, so we're absolutely going to pick that up. Anytime I get the compass, it's a good run for me, in my opinion at least. So now we're going to have some Think Northernlion, Think Specific challenges coming up with this item room and the boss room. The problem is I always F up on the... I should just hang out over these rocks. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because the explosions can still hurt me via the rocks, but it makes me a little bit protected from at least walking into them. Keeps me from being tempted to just kind of, you know, walk into the path, essentially. Alright. That is Odd Mushroom. Beautiful. No Kamikaze needed. That's going to make us smaller. Vastly increase our rate of fire. I thought I saw a Tinted Rock back here, by the way. Must have just been seeing things. Maybe I saw, like, the blue accents on the ground and thought that was going to be it. So far, so good with items. Obviously, the mark scales very well with Odd Mushroom. Anything that gives us damage up, followed by anything that gives us max rate of fire is going to be beautiful. But yeah, the problem with those boss items with this run is that I almost always mix up, like, breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert. Now I know it can't be dessert, but I always forget which one's which. Not to mention, like, just some of the items I don't totally get. By the way, if I say, like, crate and it's the crate, then I consider that a loss, by the way. I'm going to have to use Kamikaze on that one. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be fair. I probably wouldn't end up using Kamikaze enough to make the run vastly different from a vanilla run. I might not anyway, but we'll see. That's the whole reason we're here. So it's taken some bad damage so far. I don't expect to get a deal with the devil here, because I've kind of not qualified for it. Although someone told me in a comment, if this is true, then this is awesome. I should have just hung out over the rocks again. That you only get punished for losing health. Stem cells. Nice. You only get punished for losing health on a deal with the devil context if you lose red hearts. Spirit hearts don't count towards it, which is awesome. Alright, so we're going to be fighting Krampus. This is a tricky one because I never know if it's lump of coal or the lump of coal. To be honest with you, doing this challenge run is probably a little bit easier now than it used to be because via using the cheat engine, I actually know the official names of a few more items. But as is right now, it's certainly been interesting so far. We've got a decent suite of items, especially now, you know, we have the mark and increased rate of fire, so we're firing a ton of tiers. Lump of coal is going to scale really well with that because we have a lot of range, actually. Like, I can stand all the way across the map and still, well, not all the way across the map, but 75% of the way across the map and still hit Krampus. So that's going to make us a force to be reckoned with respect to dealing with enemies long range. And it means that I'm not going to mind picking up some range upgrades. Not to mention, I can just hang out over some... Oh, that was terrible. I can just hang out over some rocks if I remember to, and fire barrages in from there via Spirit of the Night. So we have some decent items. We're definitely not doing enough damage yet to, you know, compensate for the fact that we don't have any space. A lump of coal! You know what? I would have said lump of coal, so I'll just eat shit on that one. And we're going to go down to the next floor. So we've lost all our Spirit Hearts again. Woe is me. It happens. You can see him being 100% honest there. I definitely would have said lump of coal. I would not have said a lump of coal. At best, I would have said the lump of coal. So either way, I was effed on that one. Deservedly so. And again, it's just... okay, don't pick up the tick. It applies for trinkets as well. If I pick up a trinket, I have to say its name. Or Kamikaze myself if I get it wrong. But yeah, I'm trying to be honest here. It's just hard to get out of the routine of just picking up items as soon as you see them. After doing that for, you know, 400 episodes. So our pill is bad gas, that's nothing. Obviously, we have to avoid the tick if we are going to succeed. What a troll item. So we're going to see what this pill does as well. That's balls of steel. Beautiful. Again, it would be a little unfair to expect me to try to say the name of the pill before we get it. Might add a little bit more variety, but it would also add a little bit of an element of unfairness, I would say. So we do have a key. This is the dead bird. Fuck! Alright, so there's a spirit art down the drain. And another key. We will be looking for the secret room, because I definitely want to go to the shop. If I can get a map to go along with this compass, it would be a beautiful combination. Sadly, that is not going to be the way to go. And again, the only other chance for us, if we're never going to get a better spacebar item, is to possibly stack a number of HP upgrades, like a staggering amount of HP upgrades. Like, do I even want, like, a Guppy's Paw in this situation? That's the real question. Guppy's Paw would give me a ton of Spirit Hearts, but I'd lose a Spirit Heart every time I use Kamikaze. At least if I use Kamikaze in some of these situations, I'll have Red Hearts that can be replenished. Whereas in my current state, there's not much I can do about that. Or, sorry, not in my current state, but if I got all Spirit Hearts, there's not much I could do about that. Either way, it's been kind of a weird run for items so far, and I always enjoy when that happens, so far so good with respect to that. Took some bad damage. I do have Poison Touch. That's always beneficial when you're fighting those endgame bosses. And it seems like every floor I end up losing my Spirit Hearts anyway, so maybe I should stop trying to draw a comparison between having all Spirit Hearts and what I have now with respect to Kamikaze, because it's functionally looking like it's going to be basically the same. I do want to explore absolutely everything before we move on. I'm just checking for all the all the potential secret room locations first. And then I'll move on and fight the boss. Also, want to have some time to compose my thoughts. I've whiffed on 2 Kamikazes so far, or 2 items so far, so it would be good for me, I think, to take a little brief pause and think about how things are going. Just edit in, or like go look at the wiki, and then I'll edit it out in post-production. That would be fun, right? We get 3 cents from this. That probably makes it worthwhile to go to the shop, simply because we have so many keys. So we're going to make our way down there. And again, I'm going to be hoping for the map. Ladder is worthless. Bum Friend might be worth something, but it's unlikely. Mom's Purse is also good. So I believe this is just called Mom's Purse, but I don't actually have the money to pick it up yet. So we are going to need to come across, hopefully, Pageant Boy or something in the boss room. And then that would work for us. This would be like one of the very few situations where I think Pageant Boy would be a very worthwhile item. That, and anytime you have like a penny trinket, like Bloody Penny can give you extra hearts if you need them. What's the other one? Flat Penny can give you a bunch of keys. Counterfeit Penny can give you a little bit of extra money. Can't complain about keys so far, at least. We're going to be fighting Gertie. I expect this to be a fairly easy fight. And if I was feeling a little bit lucky, I would probably use Kamikaze and do some extra damage early. Or just drop some bombs, I guess. That would work fine, too. But I would rather just do things the old-fashioned way here, because I think we've got a very good... That was terrible. But I think we've got a very good layout here. Dead Bird might do some persistent damage here, which is better than nothing. I'm taking a stupid amount of damage, so now I have hurt my deal with the devil chances, which actually is meaningful, because my damage is still not at the point where I would like it to be to have chances of success later in the game. But we're definitely, like with this run we have right here, we're definitely capable of taking out Mom's heart. It's just a matter of what happens after that. I mean, not to count our chickens. Okay, this is Magic 8 Ball. Nice! Okay, I did not expect to get that one, to be honest with you. Hermit card will take us back to the shop, but there's really no point. We might as well just save it for this next floor. Unfortunately, so Mom's Purse is going to fall by the wayside. That's okay, though. We don't have any trinkets yet anyway. Might as well pop the Hermit early. We're going to be fighting Greed regardless. So we're not going to pick up anything unless he gives us Steam Sale, or the Steam Sale. Again, I'm not 100% sure on the nomenclature for that. Can't believe I got Magic 8 Ball. I was very tempted to say the Magic 8 Ball, but I'm glad that I resisted that temptation. And the other good thing about starting with the Hermit, I guess, is that we're starting... It's not going to happen every single time you use the Hermit, but we're starting from one side of the map, which means should have less backtracking if I can plan our route accordingly. Route, whatever. It's all a matter of opinion and dialect. Damage is solid. The more I play, the more I feel pretty good about the amount of damage that we're dealing. But that can change pretty quickly as we get into harder and harder enemies, obviously. Enemies that have more HP, like, for example, rooms full of bosses in the chest, Diglets, angel fetuses, a lot of those guys are going to be pains in the ass. So we've got just a ton of hearts and keys here. Really can't complain about the hearts and keys situation so far. Red hearts have been coming fast and furious. We've got a lot of blue hearts as well, or spirit hearts. Mind you, they're all gone now, but we did have them at one point. Let's just fire some shots in again. There we go. We got some extra money. So we're up to 20 cents. Is it worth looking for the secret room here? Probably. We do have 20, but I mean... No, we didn't find it anyway. We have 20, but we could always find, like, Epic Fetus. Even if we did find money, we could possibly use it on the shop on the next floor. Or, a judgment later in the game. when we have this many bombs, it's always worthwhile, I think, to look for the secret room. Or often worthwhile, at least. Shouldn't say always, because then you're going to hold me to that in future episodes. Northernlion, in episode 386, you said it's always good to look for secret rooms, but then you didn't in episode 391. Boy, I hope somebody lost their job over that one. Anyway, these fistulas are going to go down, which is easy enough. Especially since we can stay very far away. We have a huge range. I don't know how that happened. Maybe the mark also gives us a range upgrade? That's not outside of the realm of possibility. Or maybe, I don't know, because we're shooting so much, there's like increased momentum on each one of the shots. That might not make sense from a physics standpoint, but I don't care. So we're going to make our way down to the item room here. And again, have a chance for A, a good item, and B, a terrible mistake, which will cause us to hurt ourselves via kamikaze. Gotta say, I appreciate the commenters for having faith in me. Or at least this commenter for having faith in me to actually police myself. Makes you feel like I'm a good, honest gentleman, which, you know, I tend to be with respect to this stuff. Again, there's not really much incentive to cheat. It's not like I'm winning prize money when I succeed at these challenge runs. Oh, that was terrible dodging. And we have this Eternal Heart. I'm just going to remember to pick it up. I'm going to try to remember, anyway, to pick it up when we leave. Because right now, if I pick it up, I will absolutely lose it. Possibly even of my own volition as I... Okay, it's Mom's bottle of pills. Beautiful. We're just going to take one pill, which is Balls of Steel. We're going to take Kamikaze back. I think you guys knew that I knew that was called Kamikaze. Now we can take our Eternal Heart. Bob's your uncle. Everything worked out very, very well there. There's our boss room and another Spirit Heart. I'm backed into a corner here, which is not good, but that's okay. We only lost half a Spirit Heart, and we're going to get another full Spirit Heart on this level for free. We're not going to backtrack anymore or explore anymore, because there's not really much incentive to. Instead, we are just going to leave with the spoils of war and fight whoever our boss is, and hopefully get a decent item. So the flies are going to go down, and with the champion there, I would love another Spirit Heart, but bombs would be beneficial as well. Well, a penny's okay too. Maybe we'll find a time to use that. So we're going to be fighting Monstro 2, who should be easy enough to get into the permanent laser state. Stranger things have happened. And here's what we got to do here. We're basically going to let Dead Bird take care of it for a little while, because we've got to push Monstro back towards the center of the map so that we can hit him from both sides and not eventually get him trapped on one side. So this should be a very easy fight at this time. We're going to get an extra HP upgrade via the Eternal Heart, which is fantastic. We've never gotten any trinkets, which is good because that means a less chance for Kamikaze to totally have to F me up. Feeling pleased with it so far. I'm very, very confident in our ability to beat Mom, especially with the amount of health that we have. And beyond that, that is Mom's coin purse. Beautiful. Sadly, no Balls of Steel pills. Friends till the end? Okay, we might as well take the Friends with the End pill down with us. What is this one? Telepills has just moved us further away. So we are going to go pick up that other pill. I mean, it's possible that we're not going to get very much from Mom's coin purse here, sadly. But yeah, very confident that we're going to be able to defeat Mom. I would love to get a map before that happens. Please, health up. Tears up. That's beneficial as well. So we'll take Friends to the End with us. It's not worth using it on this floor, I would say. We'll save it for a room just a little bit later. We have a boss trap room that we probably are going to be unable to go to. I'm going to use Friends till the end here, and hopefully, I thought it might be able to protect me from taking damage, but it wasn't. But we did get our HP upgrade regardless, so that's good. So it looks like our boss room is going to be probably way down to the left, but we've got to go to item room and shop here. There's just no two bones about that. So we'll take our key. And the game's been incredibly good about giving us keys. I always like to thank the troll engine. It's almost like it's my faith-based god or something. Because I'm like, when troll engine's bad to me, I curse its name, but when troll engine's good to me, I like to let it know that I appreciate it. And, you know, the fact that we've had a bountiful harvest this year and I haven't had to sacrifice my firstborn son just to make some wheat grow because we don't know anything about agriculture. Alright, this is the Black Bean. Beautiful. We have our shop, which should contain some items, thankfully. We don't even want Nun's Habit, so I'm not even going to F with it. Because it's actually, like, totally unnecessary given our situation. Kamikaze already has infinite item power, so we don't need to mess with that at all. Beautiful. This might be the way to the boss room. It looks like it is. And now we're going to be done with respect to shops and item rooms. So the Kamikaze element of this is going to be over. I don't think I did that badly. There were a couple I messed up on. But overall, I think that was better than I expected to do. And probably better than commenters expected me to do as well. But now we've had... Oh, that was stupid of me. But at least the Black Bean just tore through Chubb here. And we're just going to go fight the boss right away. What are my chances of late game success? Not nil, but quite low. We have a ton of enemies to deal with here. And this would actually be... I know I curse Dead Bird a lot, and I think it's not a very good item. Now that we've been hit, I'm excited to have Dead Bird to possibly do a little bit of crowd control for us. Because we can't really rely on Mom's Foot to always kill all of the enemies, even though it did that time, amazingly. Again, just take out the enemies as they come. Dead Bird is not doing a whole lot for us, but it's basically being our bodyguard here. And I have to remember that I can just hide out over some rocks when there's a lot of enemies on the screen. Protects me a great deal from the rigors of the world. Beautiful so far. Good dodging, by the way, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Singing your own praises sometimes. It's good for self-confidence, you know. Dead Bird doesn't know what the F it's doing anymore, but that's okay, because this fight is almost over. And, you know, it was a good fight. I mean, for me, anyway. Not so much for Mom. The Polaroid, yes. Just in time. If I was a little late on that one, don't worry. It's just a little audio desync. Happens all the time. And this is the crate. Box. Not even close. There's Kamikaze. We're definitely going to pick up everything that is on offer here. The pill is Telepills, which actually I'm not going to take. And the tarot card is the Hero Font, which I absolutely am going to take. And then I'm going to take Telepills down to the next floor. Who knows? Maybe this will help me out. I do have the compass, so I can tell reasonably when I'm close to a boss. No, I can't, because I'm on Curse of Darkness. That's a damn shame. Oh well. We're gonna save Telepills. In a weird way, Telepills is almost like a shitty Emperor card. We're just gonna use it to try to take us closer to the boss once we get down to a more difficult floor. Of course, it could push us further away from the boss, but on the Womb Part 1, with our current items, I don't think there's really any incentive to use it right away, especially when we don't know if it's gonna push us closer or push us further away, and may actually cause us to be lost. That was a terrible set of damage to take right there. But all told, everything's going reasonably well so far. So we have a lot of things to deal with here that I'm not a big fan of. Angel fetuses are a big one. The nubs are another problem, but they shouldn't be too bad, because again, I can just basically get... I didn't even think I could be hit there. I thought I was over that rock. One thing's for sure, I absolutely cannot afford to take one hit per room. Might not seem like a lot. That's going to add up real quick. We're going to get another key. Keys are coming fast and furious here. Now, if I get over the rock appropriately, sometimes it's a little bit difficult with perspective. If I get over the rocks, I should be able to avoid taking damage, but I'm going to try to avoid the rocks for now, because oftentimes I find it difficult to actually place myself 100% over them, and I think I could just abuse the landscape to my advantage, as I did better overall. So I'm hoping we're going to kill some of these guys quickly, because truth be told, if I just hang out over this rock, I am basically safe. Prepare to hear a lot about hanging out over rocks, because essentially we're going to be on rocks more than whiskey for the time being. I'm going to have to use a bomb, I think, to make this happen. It's not the end of the world. We're going to have more than enough bombs ready for the Mom boss fight, I believe, because I'm only going to use them in certain situations. I could also always use Kamikaze if I wanted to, but that seems a little unnecessarily risky in our current state. So I'm kind of trapped here. But as long as I have patience, I should just be able to slowly whittle these guys down, provided they jump near me. Here we go, there's one dead. And now this should just allow me to go over here. So Blast Assist, always a fun boss to fight, or especially when you're fighting the mini-boss version, because he's usually very easy. It's basically like fighting a bunch of little Lokis that are easier than their counterparts. Although Blast Assist, though, the actual boss can sometimes be a little tricky. Sometimes. Not very often, but sometimes. So we have chosen poorly, as you might have surmised. We are now going to examine some other elements of the map here in the hopes of finding a way out. Looking for our own Kentucky Route Zero, if you will. I have taken some awful damage. Again, probably 50% of my damage is taken from dodging into shots as opposed to away from them. Basically just getting too cute with things. Whereas if I just stuck to the fundamentals, I'd probably be okay. And we're almost out of Spirit Hearts, and that's where things are going to get a little bit more harrowing. Oh, almost walked right into that guy. Speaking of what I spoke of on the last room. We have no, like, Halo of Flies or Cube of Meat. Even a single Cube of Meat would be beneficial in this situation. I totally forgot that the Kamikaze part of the game is not over, by the way. It's not just item rooms and shops, it's also boss rooms. What was I thinking there? So I am going to have to be careful with these boss items as well. Can't believe the crate is actually called the box. I feel like my whole world's come out from underneath me. Please just die. Dead Bird, do something. Thank you. And by thank you, I mean thank me, really. We've got more money, which is, again, probably going to prove useless unless I manage to come across a judgment at some point, which is unlikely. And there's our boss room. Beautiful. So after fighting this boss, we could get some extra red hearts if we need to by backtracking. A little risky, though, because I don't obviously have any bead on where I should be going due to Curse of Darkness. And it's Skolex. Greatest day of my life. Don't even need Dead Bird for this one. Might take us a little while because we're not doing crazy damage, and above all else, we're not doing like piercing damage. So I do actually have to aim, which is more than you have to do a lot of the time when you're fighting Skolex. We could also just plant some bombs, or even use Kamikaze to get some extra damage done. That didn't really work. What about, I'm just going to put a bomb right here, and he's going to go to the other side of the map. Try one more. Oh man, I botched it so hard. Alright, well, so be it. We'll deal with things the old-fashioned way, the annoying way, if you will. Skolex can sometimes, he's not hard, like he's a very easy boss, he's just difficult to hit sometimes. He's also incredibly difficult, or incredibly easy to be avoided. What am I talking about? English language, come back to my side of the brain, please. The Brokies area. Incredibly easy to avoid. So, it's difficult to take damage by him, and it's sometimes difficult to do damage to him. Oh, wow. That's a hell of a shot there. Some kind of predictive AI. Thank you, Dead Bird, for doing absolutely nothing so far. There you go. I appreciate that. That's the wooden spoon. Fuck. Alright, well, we'll take the damage. Leave. The speed upgrade is valuable. I'll definitely not look a gift horse in the mouth on that one. Take this. And continue to move onwards. Downwards, if you will. So again, I'm still pretty confident in our ability to get to that mom's heart fight. Let's use telepills. I'm not sure if that took us closer, but it might have put us on the right track. Kind of hard to tell. I'm going to save bombs. Obviously not going to use them in this situation. With our speed, we should absolutely be able to get away from Chubb. Even if I'm not hanging over rocks, which I'm going to be doing most of the time. And over here. The silkworms worry me not, because I can kill them in like 2 hits anyway, by accident. And again, Chubb is basically effed in this situation. I hate fighting this Chubb. Like, slow Chubb is always easier to fight, even if he has extra HP, because you can hit him so much more quickly. Because he's much less maneuverable, but in any case, that's neither here nor there at this point. Double Duke of Flies, pretty easy room for us to be dealing with. We are going to have to, you know, deal with the flies that come over these rocks, but largely just an inconvenience as opposed to a real threat. Because we're going to do a ton of damage, and every fly is going to die in 1 hit, so his shield is basically for naught. Even the neutral flies that he's creating, or the larger flies that he's creating, I should say, because they're certainly not neutral, only take 2 hits. So these guys going down. We're going to hit this red chest, which is going to give us a Spirit Art. Beautiful. And Sloth is going to make most of our rock cover probably unusable here as he fires bombs at it. We might get lucky and find that there is a Spirit Heart hidden in one of these rocks. That's kind of unlikely, though. It works out occasionally on the womb, and I'm always surprised when it does. And the fact that things can still surprise me in this game should tell you how rare finding an accidental tinted rock is. Dead Bird's going to be doing some work here. Thank you very much. Our tarot card might be useful, but isn't really. We're still going to take the penny and the key from Judgment. And there's our boss room. So did telepills help us? In the whole scheme of things, probably not. I probably would have gone along this path regardless. But, oh well. Yeah, sure, use a key to kill this guy. Oh, well, that's good enough. Don't use a key to kill this guy. Even better, see if I care. So now the kamikaze phase is over, I believe. We're not going to get an item from Mom's Heart. So we're basically good to go. I could use kamikaze to damage if I wanted to. I think it's a terrible idea, though, so we're going to try to take out the lasers one by one. One of the most harrowing parts of the fight, to be honest with you. If you could just kill one, I'd be very happy. This one should go down in 1 hit. And this one should go down in the next hit. Beautiful. Now we start tossing some bombs in. And with the amount of bombs that we have, especially with getting help from the bomb fly there, this should be a reasonably quick fight. Especially considering, well, you know, 8 bombs is not a ton of bombs, but it's enough. Monstro similarly should not put up much of a threat. I'm worried a little bit about the zombies. I want to make sure I kill all of those guys in a single bomb. Otherwise we might have some problems there. But every other enemy is going to be basically, again, just an inconvenience. Oh, well, whatever. Not a big deal that we've only got 1 zombie left. If we had 3 zombies left, I would have been pissed, but oh well. And we're largely just going to continue the same thing here. Again, we could always use a kamikaze if necessary. We're very close to the permanent bomb state. We might be able to get into it before Chubb spawns, which would make the end of this fight a lot easier for me, because Chubb always has good map control, basically. Although the fact that I can fly is going to limit the amount of the map that Mom's, like, creep can control, basically. Well, Chubb actually accidentally managed to get out. I probably should have used some extra bombs or kamikaze in the meantime. Oh well. She's not even... Oh, there you go. She finally started firing bombs consistently. Or more consistently, at least. And we're just going to avoid Chubb, all the while still firing shots in dead center. Chub will either die when Mom's heart dies, or he will die randomly from the bombs itself. So up to the Cathedral, and this is basically where I started to realize, or started to think, that things are going to fall off the rails for us. If we can beat Isaac with the set of items that we have, I would be thrilled. We have a very not great set of items for taking out Isaac. Poison Touch is a good item for taking out Isaac, don't get me wrong there. We gotta get to him first, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. But everything else, like the fact that we're firing incredibly rapidly, is as much a detriment as it is a strength on that fight. And, you know, when we get invincibility, we should Poison Touch him, but that's not gonna be enough, because we don't have permanent invincibility from the Polaroid. Still could happen. I just consider it a little unlikely. Certainly a strength that we managed to get to the boss fight so quickly. I'm just gonna hang out over this rock as much. Oh, I still got hit. That's embarrassing. It's okay though. Greed should go down fairly soon. Dead Bird can do a lot of work for me here. I'm not sure that these jumpers can... Jumpers? Is that what I'm gonna call them now? I'm not sure that these hoppers can actually get over onto the rocks, so I should be safe. Come on, Dead Bird. What are you thinking? You were just fighting him and then you came to see me? Seems rather silly, doesn't it? AI on Dead Bird needs some serious work. Alright, I'm not even going to pick it up because I might have to kamikaze myself if I get it wrong. And it's literally impossible for that item to benefit me at this point in the game. So we're just going to basically... I'm going to save my bombs because I might end up using those on the fight, but I'm pretty sure this is where the dream's going to come crashing down for us here. In any case, it's further than I expected to a certain extent. The fact that you don't have any spacebar item really limits your potential. Any usable spacebar item, I should say, really limits your potential for getting decently far in the game. But, you know, it certainly hasn't been bad. My play has not been superb, but it's been good enough to let me go on the kind of slightly above average items that I've gotten. Shouldn't sound too much like I'm complaining. Moon card is useless. Let's go crazy, basically. I'm gonna... My one chance for success here, I think, is after, let's have some patience here. The patience is a virtue on the Isaac boss fight. The one strategy I have is when I get the last invincibility, which I should get because of the Polaroid, I am going to... Come on, Dead Bird, do something for me here. I gotta get Dead Bird in range. I should just go up to him and kamikaze him as much as possible. And I might be able to do like 7 or 8 kamikazes in one go, which shouldn't hurt me if I'm still under invincibility. Could accidentally kill myself pretty easily. But ideally, don't hurt myself. And maybe do like a third of his health on the upper end. And notice that he's firing so goddamn often. Okay, just heal. Okay, now we're not in invincibility, are we? Well, I guess that's the end of that. The dream has died. Just gonna walk around, drop some bombs in here. Oh, maybe we can at least get him down to the thirds. No, I just walked into him. That was terrible. In any case, that was an interesting run. I was gonna say interesting and decent at the same time, and it was both interesting and decent. Thank you to Haon, or Hayon184 for that. What's going on? In any case, thank you guys for watching. As always, continue suggesting your challenge runs, and I will do the ones I deem most visible, entertaining, appropriate, amusing, or absurd, as is some of the ones that you saw recently. In any case, again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.